Good morning, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm waiting for all the chickens to get out here. Look at them run, y'all. We lost a roux and a hen in the last week. The hen was old age. The roux did not go in the pen at night. My husband could not find him, and I heard her scream early in the morning. I thought it was a rabbit. And my husband found the body of the rooster without its head, so we're assuming it was a raccoon that got him. But these ladies and two gents are ready to roam, so I'm going to let them out. Get over here. And they're off. And they're on their way to wherever they're headed today. Looking for bugs and worms or whatever. They are out of the pen. Now I've got to go open up the second door. And it sounds like I got a hen laying eggs. Come on, Missy. This weather we've had cold days, near freezing temperatures, and today it starts out at 50 degrees. We're in that vortex that Ryan Hall, y'all, has been talking about. Oh, you're not laying, you're just talking. There's one there that's getting ready to lay. I'm going to leave them alone. You just mad because I'm out here, I know. We're going to go inside the pen. I got to turn off lights. My husband turns them on early in the morning so he can see. He comes out real early in the morning, takes care of feeding them and making sure they have fresh water. Yep. And we have an egg down in the tire, and I always check the tire to make sure there's no snake in there before I reach in. That's one egg. They've got feed on the ground everywhere, but this is a homemade feed mix. And because we have a couple of broody hens, my husband has put out a couple of extra nesting boxes. And I've got ladies lined up, y'all. This is my broody one down here, this little gray hen. No eggies down there. And I've got one egg here. And I will be out here later on this afternoon to check them for more eggs. And I've got one more light to turn off. And I don't see any eggs on the ground, which is a good thing, because some of them will lay on the ground still. But this is our homemade feed. And they are really enjoying that feed. And he's mixed in some grit with it, I see. And I think I may come out here in a little while and throw in some flaxseed just to give them some extra vitamins and minerals and omega-3s. We're going to peek in on the turkeys. And I got an egg in there. Their pen needs to be cleaned out. We have not got out here to clean it. Grab the eggie. Oh, goodness, that's a big egg. Turkeys lay big eggs, y'all. And they definitely need new bedding in their nest box. You talking this morning? Gobble, gobble, choke, choke, choke. Yeah. And they have feed out here in the yard also. And this is what's left of their feed block. They've been working on that thing for a month. So it was worth the price to give them something else to peck at. We're going to head down this way and go check out our ducks. Sometimes I get a duck egg, sometimes I don't. And their pen is usually muddy because they like to splash in their water. And they'll have their water bowl dirty by the time I get up because they dunk their heads because they don't have tear ducts. So they dunk their heads to keep their eyes open. And there's the ducks. And their pen also needs a good cleaning. And our blackberries are really coming along. That cold snap did not hurt them a bit. There's that long one here. We got to get over here and weed eat. We haven't weed eated this area yet. And I'm expecting blooms on these soon. There's the other two. There's the weeds, y'all. I've got lilies coming up here. We got to get out here and cut this bush back. And I usually have to check underneath these lilies for eggs during the week. And this is a trumpet vine, and the hummingbirds love it. And I actually saw hummingbirds yesterday for the first time. Here are the rest of our blackberries right here. And no, I haven't gotten out here and weeded this one yet, but I will definitely be out here probably this afternoon to get that weeded. And there. So they're looking really, really healthy. That little miniature rose bush is coming along, and the mint. There's a lot of mint in there. I see some Virginia creeper in my bed, which I don't like. I'm allergic to it. The lamb's ear is coming in really good. The sedum is coming in really, really good. I'm going to get this over here where you can see. And I've got some more Virginia creeper right there on the wall that needs to get it. I need to get it out of here. And my lilies. I got a hosta down here. I got to go over this. This is a ground cover that I put in last year, and it's doing really well. And some more sedum. And I need to get in here and clean out this end of the flower bed desperately bad. I've got a hosta in there and another lily and another hosta, and I don't think this thing is going to come back, although it might. And some of my plants that are dying back. This is going to be surprise lilies here, this greenery right here. There's another lily there. There's some sedum and lilies in the back that I planted. And they're getting ready to bud out and be blooming before too long. And I've got the first signs of my irises opening up. I love these Japanese iris. Beautiful irises. And so far I'm not seeing any chicken or hens in that. And I really need to get in here and clean this whole bed out. There's a couple more hostas that I planted this in. There's the dead branches off of my rose bushes. My husband trimmed it all back. And believe it or not, I've got new shoots coming out. So we did not lose the rose bush, thankfully. It's been here for about 5 or 6 years, maybe a little longer. And I'm going to walk up here because I've got lilacs blooming. on my lilac bush. Right down there. This bush has also been here about 5 or 6 years, and surprisingly the frost did not take it too. Much neglected flower bed. I don't ever get down here, but you see the Virginia creeper on the wall there. And there's some sedum and some irises in here I would love to save. And we have a yucca right there that needs to be moved. And I've got a lot of weeds in here, y'all. But this is probably going to all be dug out. And we're going to make it into like a little patio area on the front of our house instead of putting a deck up. It'll be much cheaper. And we'll come over to the steps and go out to the end of the house with that. And we'll probably, on this side, maybe extend the flower bed out if we don't decide to put some of that on this side also. Just to have a little area to sit outside. What is, oh, that's a rock. Yeah, my son-in-law put up something to make sure that fencing stays in place. My wall, the underpinning wall of our mobile home was not put in right. They did not put footing in. And it's got some cracks and stuff going on. We may have to replace that at some point. And believe it or not, that was done by a mobile home company. They did a poor job of it. We've got some branches cleaned up out here. There's some more of our naked ladies. They used to sit on either side of the deck that was there beforehand. And this is the asparagus bed. And I've already been out here picking asparagus. And if you look right there, there is a asparagus coming up. I need to get out here and clean this up too. But I have picked some asparagus and I just pick it and throw it in a bag and put it in the freezer. Because I don't get enough of it to make a meal out of it or a side dish, I throw it in soup. And we're going to turn this one into an asparagus bed also. I've got to get out here and start working that. These are our Rose of Sharon, and they have really gotten tall over the last few years. They're about 5 or 6 years old, maybe. No, I take that back. They're about 10 years old now. And it looks like I've got an iris or something right outside the box that may have fell out. Interesting. And I've got a hosta here, and I call this my angel hosta because as it flowers out it begins to look like an angel. Really a very pretty hosta. And I'm going to try to turn the camera so we're not right in that sunlight. This is also another Rose of Sharon. And I noticed that I've got some Rose of Sharon growing in this box here that I have all those naked lady lilies in. So we may have to pull that up and move them. All of these Bradford pear trees along our driveway and the front of our property need to come down. And this is a sugar maple, and it really needs to come down. Also, it's a little bit too close to the house for my comfort. So pray that we can find a way to get those trees removed without costing us an arm and a leg, because tree removal is quite expensive at this time. There's the fields. They've got them plowed. It's time for me to get my garden in, if it will stay dry long enough for our guy to come in and plow up our plot. And all this back here, all this overgrowth here is part of our property that needs to be cleaned up again. Well, y'all, we haven't got our garden in yet. And thankfully so, because we got that vortex over the central part of the United States that's pulling the cold air down, and the hot air and the cold air are clashing, and it's going to be a lot of storms, from what I understand, throughout the week. We started out in the low 30s over the weekend, and today it started out at 50 degrees, so we're coming up in the temperature a little bit, but it's supposed to spin back around and get cold again. So we'll just see what happens with that. We have a lot of projects on our list that need to be addressed, and the sooner the better. The first one apparently is getting that garden in. We want the garden in. My husband has planned a garden moat, or a chicken moat, or a chicken run, so to speak, around the garden area, so that we can keep the pests down in the garden. And that will probably be an ongoing project. We have ordered a commercial grade landscape fabric and a water filtration or watering system to put in the garden to make it easier on me. And I'm hoping that this works out really well. So our garden is not going to be huge, but it's going to be big enough for the two of us, and probably then some. Once we get the backyard fenced in, I can plant beans along all the fence around our property and plant different types of beans in different areas. That's the plan. It may not get done this year, the fencing, but I'm hoping that we can get that done. Use what you have on hand. You know, if you don't have a space to plant a garden, go buy you some pots. You can go to yard sales and pick them up cheap. Buy you some a good grade garden soil and plant you some tomatoes, or plant some herbs or something. Get something green going for your home. Now, inside our mobile home, we have a water issue where we're going to have to fix water lines, and we're going to have to replace some flooring. And that's going to be a major project, because we're going to have to move furniture, move dishes, move everything to do all this. And it means putting new flooring down and coming up with solutions if we can't afford the flooring. We need to replace our front door, and we need to replace windows on this mobile home, and eventually we need to replace the siding. And we're trying to come up with economical ways to do all of this. We've got trees in the front that need to come down, and there's just so much going on. So we have all kinds of things going around that need to get done on our homestead, our little 1.5 acre homestead. And I'm looking forward to getting each one of these projects done. We are far behind our schedule of what we had planned on doing, but we're going to get there. And I'm not going to stress over it. I'm not going to fret over it. I'm just going to go with the flow and thank the Lord each time He provides for a way for us to get these things done. I want to thank y'all for watching and going on this little excursion around the yard, around our property, and seeing all the wonderful things that are growing and the plans that we have made. I'm looking forward to everything turning out just as it should. Y'all, if you don't know it, Jesus loves you from the top of your head to the soles of your feet and everything in between. Please, if you're not saved, get right with God today. Call on the name of Jesus and be saved. Thank you again for watching.